my name is Peyton Cleary. I am an alumna of Towson University and a current graduate student at the University of Delaware.
Hi, I'm Allyn Lawrence. I'm a current undergraduate student at Towson University.
So thank you so much for watching our virtual poster session entitled Students Start Digging, Unearthing Towson's History Project. This poster is going to give an overview of an ongoing research project being conducted by student and faculty researchers at Towson University that aims to uncover the experiences of faculty, students, and community members regarding diversity and inclusion, specifically following the beginning of integration at Towson University, which occurred in the late 1950s. So the goals of this project are to investigate that history, to digitize resources related to it, and share that with the broader Towson community, and also to partner with other institutions to discover how Towson related to that broader history of the region. So this poster is going to dive into two projects conducted by Allyn and I that were done using the resources held by the project.
So over the summer of 2021, I had the honor of joining the Unearthing Towson's history team. As I was introduced to the project and its goals, I was also taught the basics of how the university archives function within the Towson College and the Towson community. As I began digging through the Towson archives, mentions of an African American studies major kept appearing within our digital bibliography, Zotero, and I decided to make this the focal point of my research. When I asked around, no one seemed to know the specifics of the major or even its timeline. So this is what I focused on during the summer. I learned that the major existed in the late 1970s and early 1980s. It was taught by Black faculty and professors and focused on Black history, literature, and sociology courses. Ultimately, the major was discontinued in 1983, and the reasons are still unclear. As I researched over the summer, I noticed the limitations of our university archives. The documents and records within our archives reflect the voices and viewpoints of white professors, students, and administrators, but the same cannot be said for people of color. This project is an active effort to combat this lack of diversity within our archives, and I believe it is a way of keeping our archives accountable. The African American Studies major deserves to be recognized, and that is why I spent my research on it.
So my research took place over the summer of 2020 and the fall and spring of that following school year. And I was specifically interested in student activism at Towson State College, which is what Towson University was called at this time. So my research question was, how did the administration of Towson State in the late 1960s and early 1970s perceive and respond to student activists? And I developed this question out of a curiosity because student activists today are viewed as overwhelmingly positive actors on college campuses. And I was curious if that held true in past decades. So I analyzed 3 instances of student activism that occurred during this time period, and then specifically looked at how the administration, specifically the president and the dean of students, responded. So the 3 instances of student activism that I looked at was a Vietnam War protest that occurred in December 1969 in a building on Towson's campus called Linthicum Hall. The second was the response in May 1970 of the fatal shootings at Kent State University and Jackson State University. And finally, the response to the Southern University killings that took place in 1972. So what I found was that student activism in the eyes of administration fell into 2 camps. It was either disruptive to learning and to the campus community, or it was not disruptive. And it's not super hard to guess which one that they preferred. So disruptive acts of student activism, like taking over a whole building or seizing the school switchboard, were considered to be a threat to the stability of the university, versus non-disruptive tactics such as forums, discussions, or published works were considered a lot more favorably. And so it's just interesting to see how student activists were perceived at that time and how the important work that they were doing was viewed by other people on the campus.
In terms of next steps, our Unearthing Towson's history team is conducting 2 oral histories with past Towson professors this fall.
So thank you so much for watching our virtual presentation, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.